Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I'm David, your host, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my performance review on the Jordan 38 lows. Now, from my initial impressions from the regular Jordan 38s, they were actually really good from top to bottom. You got really good materials, the really good traction, as well as the cushioning setup, and most of it carries on to this, so I was curious to see if there are any differences in terms of how it performs. And first off, when it comes to the fit and the high top versions, they did run a little long when I went true to size. And when I went down half a size, it fits actually pretty good overall. It does run a little long, but it's not as much as when I went to my true size. And when it comes to the overall width of the shoe, it is actually quite snug, and it did start to pinch my toes a little bit. But once you break in the materials, it starts to space out, and it actually is nice and conformed overall. So when it comes to that, I would go down half a size for me personally. For narrow footers, I would go down a full size, while for wide footers, you should be good to go ordering your true size. And if you guys are interested, they are available on Nike's website as well as Dick's Sporting Goods for $175. However, in some colorways, they are going for a little less. So if you guys are interested, either way, I will leave links in the description box below. Now, as far as the performance on the traction goes, I actually quite love the grip that you get from this outsole. It carries over from the high top with this translucent rubber outsole that you get, made up with this herringbone traction pattern, and laterally you get really good bite going from side to side, and it felt really easy to do so. You can get open very easily and quickly, and you're able to react really quickly on defense as well because of that. Vertically, it's really good, especially when it comes to getting good get-offs so that you're able to cut instantly to the basket when you need to. And the hard stops are pretty good so that you can stop on dime as well. The main issue is that it is a dust magnet, however, and it sticks to the outsole as well, so you do have to wipe them down after you use them after a good bit. But it didn't really affect the performance of the traction. I did slide from here to there, but it was mostly consistent when it came to the overall performance, regardless of the court condition that you're in. Durability, however, is not so good from my experience, which is surprising because in the high top version, it had a little better durability overall, and you do see noticeable wears, especially in the forefoot area and the high wear areas as well, where it's starting to peel off completely. So that was like the main difference when it comes to the high top versus the low top. The durability isn't as great as on the high tops, but overall for me, they perform just like the high tops, except for the durability, where the lows are a bit of a downgrade. The cushioning as well also carries over from the high top version, where you get this full length top-loaded Zoom Strobel unit along with a Formula 23 foam carrier and cushlon 3.0, working together to give you a very responsive and bouncy feel, just like in the high tops from what I have experienced. Comparing them from side to side, and it is aided by the X plate as well, giving you a nice springy feel and feels very lively under your foot. That way you're going to be really reactive when it comes to getting rebounds, trying to get blocks, etc., etc. So I really like the cushioning setup overall because of that. Heel cushioning is soft but not mushy to the point where you sink in the heel, giving you really good impact protection on top of that, so you have a really good comfort when it comes to heel strikes. So it has the right amount of give along with a nice pop so that you won't feel bogged down when you're trying to go advance yourself to the next play. The shoe itself is nice and fluid from heel to toe, and with the springiness from the cushioning setup overall, helps propel you forward so that you can get from point A to point B as quickly as you can. So that is a overall very fluid and very fast cushioning setup overall. And from top to bottom, it is just like the original Jordan 38s in my opinion. As far as materials go, there is a slight departure from the high tops, where you get basically less of the material because it is a low top overall, but it does carry over as far as the synthetic nubuck material that you get on the toe box, going along the lace line as well, giving you that nice premium feel. And the same goes for the Foxton netting that you get on the lateral and medial, as well as these stitched on patterns that you get on the back half of the shoe, and as well as the nicely padded neoprene tongue that you get that is double padded, which was very comfortable on your foot. They felt just like the high tops in the forefoot as well as in the midfoot. However, where the material flexes on top of the lace line, it does dig into my foot a little bit. So that is like the main issue when it comes to that. The laces don't go up as high compared to the lows. So that was my main issue when it comes to the comfort in the midfoot. But if you adjust it, it will be overall pretty comfortable. In the heel, it's nothing crazy with the stitched padding that you get in the heel. And it's very minimalistic when it comes to padding, but I didn't have any issues with it when it comes to the overall comfort. Aesthetically wise, they look just as good as the high top version with the overall silhouette that you get. I like the stealthy blacked out look that you get with the nice pop that you get from the blue teal from the bottom of the outsole as well as on the tongue area. My only gripe would be the fact that there isn't as much of the premium materials that you get on the high tops, but nonetheless, they are just as comfortable and aesthetically pleasing compared to the original. Now, when it comes to the lockdown, however, this is kind of where these shoes veer its ugly head, in my opinion. The forefoot lockdown is pretty good, similar to the high tops, along with the midfoot where it's slightly different to the high tops, where the lows integrate the lace loops into the material itself, whereas the highs use lace loops. That way you have a slight difference in terms of overall containment in the midfoot. I felt that the midfoot and the lows felt secure, but not as secure as the highs, where you're sucked into the midfoot with the extra security due to it being a high top and it wraps up to the ankle as well. In the heel, I did notice a good bit of heel slippage in the heel compared to the high tops where you do slide a little bit, but as long as you lace them up, the lockdown overall just gets the job done, in my opinion, compared to the original Jordan 38s. Now, from a supportive perspective, they feel just as supportive as the high tops, but with a couple of changes that I have noticed. As far as lateral support, it is pretty good coming from the X-plate that wraps up to the forefoot. However, I did notice that the edges of the outsole are rounded out, where in the high tops, it does stick out a little bit, giving you an outrigger on the front and midfoot section of the shoe. In the lows, it is rounded out, so it's not as laterally stable when it comes to that. But overall, I didn't really notice it that much, so it was overall pretty good when it comes to forefoot and midfoot support coming from the X plate that wraps up to the material itself. In the heel, it is pretty good as well with an internal TPU heel counter. That way you won't slide back and forth inside the shoe. However, since it is a low top, there isn't as much ankle support when it comes to that. So that was like my only gripe when it came to that. But overall stability from the flat base in the outsole along with the X-plate gives you really good stability in and out of the shoe. And I was overall pretty balanced inside the shoe compared to the high tops. Aside from that, the support is pretty good, very similar, but I did like it in the high tops a little more. But you can't go wrong with the support in the Jordan 38 lows overall. So to sum it up for you guys, I really enjoyed this shoe overall, and they performed very identically to the Jordan 38s. When it came to the overall traction, it was really grippy laterally and vertically, but I did find it a little less durable in the lows compared to the highs. Cushioning is pretty much the same, very responsive and bouncy in the forefoot and comfortable in the heel. With the materials, feeling really comfortable on your foot as well. The only thing that I didn't really like is the low top feel that I had, and that did hinder the lockdown, especially in the heel, and the lack of outriggers that you get from the lateral side of the shoe compared to the highs was a little bit of a downgrade when it came to the support, in my opinion. And is overall a little more supportive and better lockdown in the highs compared to the lows because of the low top feel that you have, which is why I would prefer the high tops over the low tops especially. But if you guys like the low tops, this is a very suitable option for you guys. But overall, when it comes to choosing which one you should get, I would prefer the high tops because of the additional support you get from the outriggers and the lockdown, especially because of the high top style. And the fact that they are going for a little cheaper. I've seen pairs that are going for $100 while the lows are going for only as low as $140. So those are all the reasons why I would get the high tops over the lows. But the low tops, regardless, are a good choice nonetheless. Thank you guys for watching this video. This is my performance review on the Jordan 38 lows. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and comment down below which shoe you would prefer, the Jordan 38s or the Jordan 38 lows. I'd like to know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below as well. If you'd like to stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below. And if you are interested in watching my review on the regular Jordan 38s, it'll be on this side of the screen if you guys are interested. If you would like to stay in touch with me via social media, all of that information will be in the description box below as well. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.